Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those joining us are our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment today. Computer science is one of the highest demand fields in the U.S. economy. The question for the future, though, is, will there be enough people to fill those roles? Well, recently, Amazon and Gallup joined forces to conduct a survey to understand student interest and engagement when it comes to computer science field. Here to talk to us about the survey and computer science education, we're excited to welcome Tom Berry, the Senior Manager of Amazon Future Engineer, as well as Stephanie Marken, the Executive Director of Education Research at Gallup. Tom, Stephanie, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to do it. Tom, I'm going to start with you here. Why is the Amazon Future Engineer program not only key for your company, but also when it comes to the nation's economy?
Students want to study computer science. They're interested in it, but they don't have access to it in their schools or exposure to the careers that are possible. We think this is a miss for the U.S. economy because so many employers increasingly want to hire candidates with a computer science background. The latest federal statistics show that if you are in a computer science job or information technology job, you'll earn twice the national income average of all other occupations. So broad access to these opportunities are key for income mobility for our students and their families, and Amazon Future Engineer is about ensuring early and constant access to the opportunity to learn.
Love that, and that access is so important. So, Tom, what role do mentors then play when it comes to getting students interested in computer science as a field for them to study?
Role models help a student kind of visualize the future that they might have in any field. And if you put a human story in front of them, that just really completes the narrative of where they can go. So with Amazon Future Engineer, we had heard this from many classrooms, from students and educators, bring an Amazon employee into our classroom. So we launched Meet an Amazonian to do two things: connect classrooms with a diverse group of role models through employee volunteers who go and speak to them in our Class Chats program, and show them a behind-the-scenes live virtual tour of our technology through our Computer Science Fulfillment Center tour program. And since we launched in April, we've reached over 2,000 schools, primarily in communities that serve low-income students, as well as over 140,000 of them.
Well, that is incredible. Tom, Stephanie, I mentioned that you're the Executive Director of Education Research at Gallup. Talk to us more about the survey and what were some of the findings that you found?
We found that interest in computer science education was really widespread throughout the U.S. So 62% of students nationally report they'd like to learn more about the topic of computer science, and yet, unfortunately, only about half of students nationally have actually participated in a computer science course in the past 12 months. So there's a really large gap between interest and participation, and that gap is even more pronounced for underserved populations throughout the U.S. Students who come from lower income households are actually far less likely, unfortunately, than their peers to report they've actually taken a computer science course in the past 12 months.
Definitely, that's incredible. And to time with what Tom was saying about the availability there, what does the research say about how the availability of opportunities helps kids to get into a high-demand field?
So nationally, 70% of students report that there's at least one course currently within their school where they could take computer science, learn more about the topic. Unfortunately, that number really drops dramatically for underserved students. So students who are living in rural areas throughout the U.S. and also students coming from lower income households are far less likely than their peers nationally to report that they actually have a course currently available within their school system where they could take a computer science topic. And even within urban areas where we see computer science courses are more available, we still find Black and Latinx students are less likely than their peers to report those courses are available within their school. So we continue to leave out historically marginalized populations and underrepresented groups nationally that really need access to this incredibly in-demand job career pathway.
It really shows the importance of Meet an Amazonian then. So, Tom, this is such important information. I'm so glad that Stephanie and you could come on to share it. Where can our audience go to find out more information about the program?
Head over to AmazonFutureEngineer.com. If you're a student, educator, or parent, you can sign up for one of our offerings.
Oh, that's great. Again, everyone, Tom Berry, the Senior Manager of Amazon Future Engineer, and Stephanie Marken, the Executive Director of Education Research at Gallup. Thanks again for the information to the two of you, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks,
glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live as part of our News You Can Use segment. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.